Your favorite beauty queen is a man, oh, a shameless man. Her beards are as long and as bushy as that of a he-goat, a long time ago. There lived two sisters named Ugie and Mma. Ugie was known throughout Agolo and beyond for her breathtaking beauty. Her skin was particularly envy of young maidens for its lustrous and glazed appearance. No wonder she was remarkably the best self-taught skin therapist in Agolo. Ugie's hut was like a skin sanctuary where women from all over the village trooped to seek her expertise to attain flawless glass skin. Ugie's skincare products were one in town, and none other dared to come close. People with serious skin problems also flocked to her beauty palace for healing and rejuvenation, and Ugie always delivered on her mandates. This made Ugie envy of all. Rumors even had it that Ugie used mystical powers to heal people's skin. Despite Ugie's success, she remained humble. She bravely ventured into the thick forests alone to source herbs for her miraculous skincare concoctions. Ugie's bravery, business acumen, and financial independence added to her allure. She attracted men from all walks of life. Men of different calibers came seeking her hand in marriage. However, she fell in love with a tall, dark, and handsome village hunter, Ikenga. Ikenga wasn't as rich as Ugie's other suitors, but he was the dream husband of a lot of village maidens because of his striking physique and undeniable loving aura which mirrored his inner strength. Ugie and Ikenga's love seemed destined, much to the chagrin of envious young maidens who harbored jealousy towards Ugie for charming Ikenga. Unfortunately, behind Ugie's radiant fight lay a very deep secret known only to her and her sister Mma. Ugie had concealed and fought this secret since puberty, and her fight was to no avail. Ugie, despite being so beautiful, grew thick facial hairs on her chin like that of a full-grown man. Sister Ugie, why do you have such stubborn beards? I thought beards were for mean and wicked women. Ugie looked at Mma with her eyes drenched in tears. I don't know why nature is doing this to me. I can't explain why this keeps happening. I've tried everything within my reach to stop these hairs from growing and embarrassing me. Yet, they grew back each morning like stubborn weeds in a well-fertilized farm. Every night, before going to bed, Ugie meticulously shaved her beards and applied her hair removal ointments, concealing her beards away from the eyes of all. Even Ikenga, her lover, was unaware of her deep secrets. One beautiful morning, Ugie prepared for her usual daily consultation with her clients, women lined up in her front yard, patiently waiting for their turn. Unknown to Ugie, her first client of the day, Mbafo, came that fateful day with a sinister intention in mind. Mbafo was one of Ikenga's secret admirers who was ready to ruin anyone who came in her way of getting Ikenga. As consultations ensued, Mbafo's malicious eyes were all over Ugie, scheming for a fault she could use against her. Mbafo's malicious eyes collided with a tiny sprout of hair sticking out of Ugie's chin, and she let out a very loud scream. What is happening here? Are these not beards on Ugie's chin? Wonder shall never end. Shh, Mbafo. Please, can you stop screaming? To avoid causing a scene, Ugie pleaded as he hid her chin in shame. Please, whatever you want, I would give you. Just don't tell anyone what you just saw today, Ugie cried. Before Ugie could finish her sentence, Mbafo ran out of the beauty parlor, screaming like a town crier. Your favorite beauty queen is a man, oh, a shameless man. Her beards are as long and as bushy as that of a he-goat. I saw it myself with my two naked eyes. Sofiawa. Some villagers gathered around to hear the full gist, while Mbafo concocted lies after lies to keep her listeners entertained. The news of Ugie's beards spread throughout Agulu village, and tongues didn't stop wagging. Ikenga, despite loving Ugie deeply, started avoiding her after hearing the rumors. His mother forbade him from seeing Ugie. Don't you know that women with beards are wicked and infertile? Do you want to marry your fellow man? The once vibrant, strong, attention-commanding Ugie became a shadow of herself, feeling abandoned and rejected. Sister, you won't believe the crowd waiting for you outside. This is much more than the number you have ever attended to your entire life, Mma said. Ugie, expecting a decline in patronage for her business because of the bad image, was surprised to see a multiplied number of women flocking her beauty palace. Ugie resolved to ignore the mockery and go after her money. Ugie knew deep down that the women were there to confirm the rumor peddled by Mbafo. Hence, she decided to give them a run for their money. From that day henceforth, Ugie intentionally stopped shaving her beards. Instead, she let it grow out. This brought more and more curious customers to her beauty palace. Ugie smiled home daily with her pockets full of money. However, deep down, she truly missed her lover, Ikenga. One early morning, as Ugie ventured into the thick forests to source for her herbs and plants for her skincare products, she noticed a strange presence trailing her. She looked around to see who he was, but she couldn't see anyone around. Back at home, Ugie started noticing strange occurrences. First, some of her belongings mysteriously went missing. She complained severely to her sister Mma, who bluntly said Ugie was out of her mind. One evening, after a hectic day of work, Ugie asked Mma to prepare dinner. Mma prepared a delicious yam porridge. She took her own portion and left Ugie's part in the pot. Ugie, feeling so famished, went straight to the pot to dish her food, only to find an empty pot. She called Mma and scolded her for being so greedy and eating alone. Mma fired back in defense. Sister, you have been acting so strange lately, and this is the peak of it. I placed your food in the wooden calabash. Now the pot is empty, and we are the only ones in this house. Ever since Ikenga broke your heart, you have been acting out of your mind, sister. Ugie sat back to reflect on all the strange occurrences. The other day, their water pots were filled to the brim. Meanwhile, neither she nor her sister, Mma, went to the stream. She pondered on all these incidents as she slept off that night on an empty stomach. Waking up the following morning, Ugie rushed out of her hut to go fetch firewood from the forest before resuming her work at the beauty palace. Ugie smiled as she sighted a huge pile of firewood resting on the wall outside the compound. Mma, what a hardworking girl. So she woke up so early to ease my stress by fetching firewood when it was even my turn, Ugie exclaimed. She went straight to Mma's room to say a big thank you, only to find Mas fast asleep like a baby. Ugie was confused. Who then fed to firewood outside the compound, since Mma hadn't even woken up yet? This time around, to avoid being called paranoid, Ugie kept the whole incident to herself. However, fear crept into her heart, gnawing at her own unshakable confidence. Ugie became scared of life. Who has been doing all these things? Or am I really hallucinating? Who knows what next would happen tomorrow? Just as predicted, Ugie woke up the following morning to a well-swept compound. At this point, Ugie decided to stop complaining and start enjoying the strange favor. One windy morning, as Ugie prepared to go to work, she heard the most melodious baritone voice she had ever come across, echoing through their hearts, comforting her with his unseen presence. As Ugie listened closely, she realized that the song even had her name in it. In her darkest moments, Ugie found solace in this unexpected source. She mustered the courage to interact with this invisible being, sharing her burdens and finding fleeting moments of happiness amidst her turmoil. Ugie constantly communicated with this invisible man, sharing her daily struggles and wins with it. Her sister Mma had walked in on her communicating with this invisible being, and she was certain her sister was crazy. Towards the close of work one busy day, a woman walked into Ugie's beauty parlor for her beauty treatment. The woman arrived with her baby and a little odd-looking albino girl, who was her nanny. The albino girl calmly greeted Ugie and turned around to greet the invisible being. Ugie was startled. "Who did you just greet?" Ugie asked, with her eyes dilated in surprise. "I greeted that uncle over there," the little albino girl replied, as she casually pointed in one direction. "Please ignore my nanny. As an albino, she has serious sight issues. Sometimes she sees things that do not exist." The customer replied. "It's okay," Ugie replied. However, deep down, she was very curious that the little albino girl could see this invisible friend that she has always spoken to. This revelation made Ugie feel very much validated. "At least I'm not crazy," Ugie said. Ugie prayed deeply for another opportunity to meet this little albino girl again, and luckily, she was at Ugie's compound a few days later. "Your friend asked me to return," Anyanwu the albino girl blurted. Ugie couldn't hide her excitement. She sat outside in the cool of the evening to interact with Anyanwu alongside her invisible friend. Anyanwu told Ugie the story of how she saw strange beings from a very young age, and how people also called her crazy and strange. One fateful day, Ugie's invisible friend decided to open up about his history and how he became invisible. "My name is Dickie. I was born and raised by a humble palace maid. My mom, a poor palace maid, was pregnant for me when she worked in the king's court. She tried to hide her pregnancy until she couldn't hide it anymore. I grew up in fear and intimidation. My only source of joy and protection was my mom. As I grew up, people saw my striking resemblance with the king. This made the queen so furious. My mom and I were badly maltreated. Years later, she fell ill from severe stress. On her sick deathbed, she revealed to me that the king was indeed my father. Her death left me totally broken I cried for days and refused to see anyone. Her death threw me into the vengeful hands of the queen. She tried to poison me severally, but failed. She eventually cast a strong, invisible spell on me. This spell can only be reversed by bathing in the fountain of life, flowing from the living water deep in the thick evil forest. Ever since I became invisible, I have been roaming the forest, searching for this living water. Stories have it that the fountains can only be found by a very strong seer. I got tired of roaming the forest when I saw Ugie and decided to follow her back home. I admired her bravery, intelligence, and kind heart. I have been the one behind all those strange occurrences in the house, and I'm very, very sorry. Following the deafening silence of his strange story, Anya muttered, "I can help. I see what others don't see. I can help find the fountain of life. However, we must be sure we are ready for this perilous journey. The thick forest is inhabited by strange spirits and wild animals. Secondly, we must leave for the forest very early in the morning so that we can return before nightfall. No human sleeps in the forest at night and lives to tell the story." Ugie, Anyanwu, are you both sure you are willing to sacrifice and take this mind-boggling risk for someone you barely know? Prince Dike asked in a weak tone. Without hesitation, Ugie and Anyanwu fearlessly agreed to embark on this dangerous journey. Dike was so humbled by their selflessness. Early the next morning, the trio embarked on this perilous journey into the depths of the forest, guided by Anyanwu's keen intuition. As they waded through the thick tree trunks and the wet parts of the forest, they approached the first magnificent portal. This portal was guarded by a spirit in a white robe. "What are you here for?" The spirit's voice echoed softly, causing chills to run down their spines. "Wise one, we are seeking the fountain of life, flowing from the living water, to restore our friend's visibility so that he can live and interact normally amongst humans." Anyanwu the albino replied, "What gifts do you have in exchange for passage? Or have you not heard that the gift of a man makes way for him?" The spirits queried. Dike, Ugie, and Anyanwu felt so downcast. "We didn't prepare well before embarking on this perilous journey. We didn't come with silver or gold, and we have nothing at all to offer," they murmured among themselves. As they wallowed in sadness and regrets, Anyanwu's voice sprang up suddenly. "Wait, wise one, I have a gift. I can see far into the future, and I can see what others can't see. Look, I can sense that you have been waiting for our coming for a very long time, and you have a lot prepared for us." The wise spirit smiled and granted them passage. The three friends were full of joy and excitement as they were allowed to pass through the portal. Surprisingly, after they had walked a distance in the forest, they approached yet another portal, bigger than the first one. This portal was manned by a seemingly elderly lady. She asked a similar question: "What do you have to offer in exchange for passage?" And this time, Ugie responded on behalf of her friends. "Wise one, I have the gifts of skin healing and rejuvenation. My hands have concocted miraculous skin ointments that have wielded magic on the skin of countless mediums in the village where I come from. And if you allow me I will show you what wonders I can perform. The spirit permitted her to show what she could do. Immediately, Ugie swung into action, her eyes scanning through the plants in the forest. Within the twinkle of an eye, she plucked 3 odd-looking plants, squeezed them together, and applied them on the skin of the spirit. The seemingly old lady with wrinkled skin immediately looked 10 years younger. The spirit smiled and immediately granted them access. By this time, it was already getting dark, and the 3 friends were getting worried. Anyang, are you sure we're on the right track? Why haven't we reached the fountain of life yet? Remember, we must leave this forest before dark to avoid being killed. Anyang assured them that they were on the right track. As the tension amongst the friends kept rising, they approached a said portal, guarded by 3rd spirits. A similar conversation ensued, and they were asked what gifts they have to offer. At this point, the 3 friends had run out of ideas, so they turned to Dickie for help. I don't have any supernatural gifts like you and Anyang. I am so sorry for the stress I put you through. Let's find our way back to the village. At least we will not be in more trouble. The 3 friends turned their back to trace their way back home sadly. Ugie and Anyang couldn't help but fight back their tears. They sobbed softly as they walked back to the village. They felt so defeated. Their cry broke Dickie's heart. As the 3 friends approached the boundary between the forest and the village, Dickie decided to sing to cheer his friends up.
Oge wama poronuma, Anyang wama poronuma, ine poron, ichinu wayo poronuma, onye chori bugi poronuma, onye ibu onye koronuma, poronuma.
Ugie and Anyang joined Prince Dickie in singing, and suddenly, in a moment of bewilderment, a strong wind began to blow across the forest, and the 3 friends were teleported across the 3rd gate. They found themselves right in front of the fountain of life. I never considered my voice a gift, Prince Dickie muttered in excitement. Hurry before it's too late, Ugie beckoned. Dickie ran as fast as his legs could carry him, and he jumped right into the pool. He submerged himself in the water, right in the fountain of life. Instantaneously, his body began to change and become visible. Prince Dickie was no longer invisible. Out of excitement, Ugie and Anyang ran straight into the water to embrace their friend Prince Dickie. As the healing water splashed on Ugie, her beard disappeared, and her chin was as smooth as a baby's skin. Anyang's redeeming eye was instantly steady too, and her skin became flawless. The 3 friends went back to the village full of excitement and happiness. With the curse broken, Prince Dickie reclaimed his rightful place as the king of Agolo, while Ugie ascended to the role of the queen by his side. Together, they embraced their newfound happiness, adopting Anyang into their loving family. And so, in a village where beauty was once prized above all else, it was the strength of unity, resilience, and unconditional love that truly prevailed, forever altering the fate of those who dared to believe in the power of the unseen.